And we're live. Check this out. Oh. Hello. Welcome to the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can touch. You can touch? No, you can trust. I'm tired. Guys, check this video out. I just posted it on my YouTube page, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, everywhere. And it's kind of ambient music, meditation music with some stuff around Sao Paulo. That's the Lapa Tunnel, which is a scary place to be. Also, some scenes here are from the Museum of the Brazilian House. Really interesting places you should check out. It's in Itaim area, Faria Lima. And then some scenes here are from this place called Fiesp on Paulista. They were having this great exhibit with AI art. Oh, there was the house of the Museum of the Brazilian House. I always say it backwards. So a lot of this stuff was in the art installation in there. More of the Lapa Tunnel. Lapa is a great little neighborhood. Actually, I have some more footage from Lapa, which I'll be putting up. This is me crossing the Pinheiros Bridge. And it's long, guys. So it's one of those, lay back, chill out, zone out type of experiences. That's from the art exhibit with the AI art, which I thought was amazing. I don't know if the installation's still up, but if it is, check that out. It's Fiesp, Fiesp, and it is free. Actually, all of this is free, So the Museum of the Brazilian House and this little bit here, that's from it looked like something out of Aliens. I really dug that. That's from the Museum of the Brazilian House. Anyway, it's a long video, guys. That's the intro music today. No regular intro music. Although, look, there it is right there. Here's my intro music. That as well. Just a little bit. There you go. It's the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. We are on, guys. Today was a crazy day, Pete. I had to substitute for there's Pete. There you go. Handsome man. Although here you don't show up, your thing doesn't.
Yeah, show up. I know. I don't know what happened with my avatar, man.
Pete is in the void. We are all in the void, guys. It's been a long day. A teacher.
Yeah, my avatar is like my soul. It's black and vacant.
Yeah. So we're tired. But Monday's a day. Like Pete and I were discussing maybe changing the day for the podcast at the beginning of before we were on. And Monday's the best day. I mean, we're tired, but it's better to be tired and get it over with on Monday than be tired and try to get it over with on a Wednesday or Thursday when we're really tired. But I had a teacher today that couldn't go to work, so I had to go in earlier. So I've been up since like 6:30, 7 o'clock working. Anyway, guys, so much is going on in Sao Paulo as far as like weird stuff, okay? Look at this. Last week, we were talking a little bit about weather and things of that nature, like how I think Travelmatic said he was in Puerto Rico. And he was saying he was waiting for hurricane season. And somebody asked if we have to deal with weather events here in Sao Paulo, in Brazil. And we do, not a hurricane, but it feels like it. You're going to see some of the damage from a really...
It's not the weather. It's the power outages that are the problem.
Yeah, but the damage, you're going to see some of these videos. It's scary. When was it? It was Friday or Thursday? When did it happen? I forgot now. But I think it was last Thursday or something. That
I don't remember the exact day, but I know that it fucking rained in my house, man.
Yeah. It was rough. It was absolutely rough. By the way, today, guys, we will be talking about cost of living in Brazil. And next week, hopefully, we will have our guest on from Rio de Janeiro, direct from Rio. Real interesting guy is going to talk about. He's indigenous. He's going to talk a little bit about his history, some indigenous history here in Brazil, and things of that nature. Thanks everybody who's checking in. Okay, like and subscribe. And if you got any stories, you got anything you want to share, just leave me a message here in the comments. And actually, check this out. Innovation, guys. This show is growing. Innovation. Pete, I have an email address now for the show. Did you know that? So if
I did
anybody
not.
wants to be on the show, actually, I got somebody that said they wanted to be on the show. He's lived in Itacaré, Bahia. He's been in Brazil for 15 years, and he sent me a message. So if you got a story you want to tell, if you want to talk about your time here in Brazil, etc., reach out to me. You can either send us a message here live, you can find me somewhere, I'm on some social media platform. Phil Ray OFC on Instagram, Phil Ray on Facebook, or you can email me. Look at that. Brazil in Phil. I couldn't put Phil in Brazil. Apparently that name's been taken. And I used to have Brazil Expat Journal, but that's gone. I don't know. I couldn't find the password to that. So yeah, reach out to me at Brazil in Phil. I've had a lot of things in me, but not a whole country ever. But it feels like it sometimes because Brazil, man, you feel Brazil. That's the thing. You feel like everything that happens here is so extra that it really does feel like the country is in you. Anyway, look at this, guys. Look at this. This is it says here on Monday. Okay, so this is before we went on last week. There was a strong wind that hit the center of Sao Paulo, and it left destruction in its wake. So here's a video from a makeup artist, Henrique Martins, and he must be a really good makeup artist because he has a really nice apartment. And he recorded some wind issues. Look at this. Look at this. Insane.
Vou ter que abrir a janela.
He's like, I have to open
Senão vai estourar.
Yeah, I got to open the window. Or
Meu
else
Deus do céu.
You got to open that window or else it's going to break. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming.
Meu Deus do céu, senhor. Vai estourar.
Oh shit, man.
Meu Deus do céu, Henrique. Estourou tudo, meu Deus do céu.
Meu Deus do céu means good Lord Almighty. Meu Deus
Yeah.
do
Céu, senhor.
Yeah. That is what
Vem,
we're talking about.
vem, Camille, vem, Camille.
Inacreditável, eu tô em choque. Olha aí.
Like unbelievable.
Puxa.
I'm in shock.
Yeah, and it lasted a really short period of time too.
Yeah, super short period, but look at the destruction in this short period of time. So
Yeah.
yeah, folks, when we say there's no natural disasters in Brazil, it's like, well, there's more though. There's more. So look, this is Brás metro station, which is a big central station here in Sao Paulo. And you keep your eyes up here on the roof and look at this. Oops. Look at that. Look at that hole there. And the lady's praying. She's like, oh, Lord Almighty, Savior.
Yeah, people are kind of overreacting a bit.
Well, yeah, but I think another part of it's going to fall down. I'm pretty sure. I think. Oh, well.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's some quality engineering right there.
Yeah, and then there's more. So here it just shows in general. It's going to include that metro station and then some other places. This is Zona Leste, the east side of Sao Paulo. That's inside the metro station. This is Brás station. And then That's not the one I wanted to show actually, because that's a repeat. I meant to show this one right here. So this is general
Mil
destruction.
casas sem energia, mais de 100 quilômetros por hora, fábrica de carro destruída.
Yeah, about 100 kilometers per hour. I don't want to play the audio in case it's copywritten, but there you go. This is all São Paulo. Look at that. It's like hurricane level destruction.
Yeah. It didn't seem that bad from where I was. I mean, it was bad because it was raining in my house. So that was a problem. But other than that, like, I put out some buckets to catch the water, and the power didn't go out, which is good. And it passed pretty quickly. So it was good here. But
Yeah, this looks terrible. Yeah, I guess it just, I don't know, man. It's luck of the draw. It's really luck of the draw. If you get it right in the heart of that wind, wherever it's coming from. Look at that.
yeah, because I remember in I think it was 2022, that there was like a storm so bad that like we were without power for 5 days, man. It fucking
Yes.
sucked. You couldn't take a shower, you couldn't cook. Well, you could cook because if you had a gas stove, you could cook, and I do have a gas stove. But yeah, you couldn't take a hot shower. What do you do for entertainment, man? You go to the Botecos and you drink warm beer because their fridges aren't working either, and you just sit in the street and stink.
Pretty much. I remember that very well, and it was kind of hot at the time. I remember, so it's
It was. It
worse.
was November.
It's well. I mean, I don't know what's best. I mean, or I should say, what's worse. Uh, Being without power when it's really, really cold, or being without power when it's really, really hot. They both kind of suck because you're just in the dark, either freezing or sweating. So yeah, guys, if you come to São Paulo, especially because a lot of this weird weather stuff happens more in São Paulo, but it happens across the country too. Rio has had some really crazy.
Yeah, you know
storms.
where it happens the most is Rio Grande do Sul. That's
Oh yeah, in
actually,
the south. Yeah, they got a
yeah,
lot of.
that's one of the reasons why my school went out of business.
Oh, because of
Because
those floodings last year. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Guys, look at this. Rio Grande do Sul. If you're from the U.S., this is gonna be like bring back memories of Katrina. Look at that. The
Yes.
city was
Yeah, but
underwater.
Katrina happens like 4 times a year in Rio Grande do Sul.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Look at that. Yeah. So Rio Grande do Sul was absolutely flooded. Okay, so yeah, we do have these issues. Ooh, look at that picture, man. It's like an airplane in the water.
Yeah, because it's a major aviation center.
Look at that. Hundreds in Rio Grande do Sul underwater. That's from the BBC. Let's see what the BBC says about that. Oh, I'm not going to play the BBC video because that's definitely going to give me a copyright strike. But there you go. Oh, look at the pets. Yeah. Look at that, man. With runways underwater, getting aid to affected areas has been hard. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they were like Porto Alegre was without electricity for like 6 days at one point.
Yeah, there you go. Look, the situation in some areas surrounding the city of Porto Alegre is even worse. Canoas is one of those badly hit. Look at that. The whole city. The extreme weather has been caused by a rare combination of hotter than average temperatures, high humidity, and strong winds. Climate expert Francisco Eliseo Aquino told AFP news agency that Rio Grande do Sul, which literally it translates to the big river of the south, so there you go,
Yeah.
has always been a meeting point between tropical and polar air masses, but said that these interactions intensify with climate change. Yeah, really, 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 really crazy weather. And if you don't get killed by the weather down here, you might get killed by drinking, which is kind of crazy. And I found out this isn't the first time this has happened. But intoxicating by methanol in drinks, one person dies and 8 are admitted, okay, into Sao Paulo hospitals. So intoxication by methanol causes 2 deaths in Sao Paulo. and apparently it's related to um, let me see if they have it here, but it's related to the gangs. Like the gangs get the beer and then they kind or the alcohol and then they like mix stuff in there. Let me see if they let me read this article if there's a paywall. Um, so since June, 6 people have been diagnosed with methanol intoxication. Okay, um, and some people. Oh, I don't want to talk to this lady. Uh, so, oh my God, how many pop-ups is this? Maybe still West. So people were affected in Mocha area. That's close to where I work. So weird stuff. I was reading up about this, and it's happened before, but they mix it. Methanol is like, why would you mix methanol in beer, Pete? Like, I don't even know why people would do this.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
is there a
know.
reason to make?
But this was a huge problem in China, actually, and it's not. I don't know the specifics if it was methanol or whatever, but making fake alcohol is just a way of cutting corners. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean you get a lower overhead basically.
I see. Yeah, but it's really weird. So and there's a lady. Uh, oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what I was looking at right here. Well, Visual usually has a paywall, but let's see if they let me. But it's a methanol from PCC. If you guys don't know who the PCC is, they're like the big gang here in Sao Paulo. The first command of the city. They could be responsible for deaths by intoxication in Sao Paulo. They just got jammed up the PCC over like they were doing a lot of money laundering and a bunch of bars and like restaurants and shit, like stuff you wouldn't even imagine. So they really control a lot of this stuff. But here it says, the methanol from the criminal faction PCC could be responsible for 3 deaths that were registered in the last 25 days, okay, because of consuming alcoholic beverages, okay? Uh, and, it's just speculation, but, PCC is
Yeah.
PCC, lavagem de dinheiro. Let me see, money laundering scheme. I just saw it in the news. It was like a huge, there, April 29th. Uh, so on Faria Lima, they had some money laundering schemes going on. Let me see if it gives the where they were doing it. I don't see it. Yeah, but Brazil is okay. So apparently they're dealing with the fintechs and all this stuff. These guys are everywhere. So just be aware, guys. If you're coming to São Paulo for a long stay, even a short stay, but Brazil in general, stuff can get wacky here fast, and you just have to be kind of prepared for it. There's no other way. Hey, what's up, El Camello? Is that from Breaking Bad? Look, intoxication from methanol. Those 2 people, and then this lady was here. She's giving an interview. She was blinded by it. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's the news from down under. Okay. A lot of crazy stuff. But today we're talking finance. And look at this. Pete and I were looking at this chart. The Brazilian real. So $1 is going to give you 532. Got a lot better.
Yeah,
The
it's
point
gotten
here.
better, but it's because the American dollar is falling, not because the real is.
Yeah. Well, true. The highest it has been 2024, at least of late, was December 24th, was 618, but it's went up a little bit, but it is like Pete said, it has a little bit more to do with the U.S. dollar devaluing than the real actually being strong. So we're gonna talk about cost of living down here. We're gonna go at it from a perspective of if you're coming here with dollars and euros, because if you're earning in reais right now, good lord, good lord, good lord. It's rough.
It's going to kill
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no, the cost of living has gone up by a lot. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can.
but okay. This is the thing. Like I have friends in Australia, Canada, the United States, England, and they
Mhm.
all blame their governments for
Yes,
the cost of living going up. But
yes,
it's not their governments. It's just it's a trend around the world. Like
I
all
agree.
cost of living is going up everywhere. Period.
Yes, I agree with that. I don't think we ever really recovered from COVID, to be honest. And then
Mhm.
just as we were recovering from it, we got hit with that Ukraine Russia fiasco, which
Right.
tanked the markets again. So it was like a double whammy, and I don't think the world has recovered from that yet. Which doesn't mean that some governments don't help by mismanaging the little money that they do have. But like here in Brazil, guys, it's like one corruption scheme after another. They just had a corruption scheme with the look. It's the retirement funds Brazil stolen. Between April 2024 and March 2025, 21 entities deducted a staggering $370 million, which is 2.1 billion reais, from retirees. An average of $17.6 million, or 100 million reais, per nonprofit. By then, a CGO audit had found that 98% of retirees said they had never authorized the deductions. Yeah, so it's one thing after another. So I feel you. It is a general world thing, but at the same time, some governments don't help. By the way, Travelmatic, later, check out the beginning of the show. We were showing some of the damage caused by the storms down here, and it's like crazy stuff. It's like really crazy. So check that out. El Camelo, thanks for checking in. Guys, today we're kind of freestyling a little bit. Hopefully tomorrow we will have a guest, and I'm trying to get this girl from the Czech Republic on who wrote this really cool article. It's just we may have to do a BJ in the morning, or just like kind of record it and just post it at night. Whenever I say recorded, Pete, I always think of George Carlin when he talks about stupid English words, and he's like, "How can you pre-record something?" I was about to say pre-record, and I was like, "You can't really pre-record." Anyway, so yeah, it will be recorded and posted here probably, because early in the morning it's kind of rough to do it live, but we'll see what happens. So guys, cost of living, yeah. We're gonna go down a few categories, okay? Sorry, didn't mean to play that. Where did I mean to do? I meant to do this right here. One second, my ladies and my gentlemen. Let's do that share screen. Let's go right here. And there you go. You don't have to stare at our ugly mugs. There you go. So, guys, we're gonna go down the list. I got a little list here of topics to talk about when it comes to cost of living. We're gonna talk about housing and utilities. Okay, comparing Brazil to the U.S. and Europe. We're gonna go groceries and eating out. We are going to go transportation, and then we're going to go healthcare, and then we're going to go leisure and lifestyle, and then we're going to go hidden costs and shocks, which we call the custo Brasil. It's one of the things that keeps Brazil really screwed when it comes to like economic growth and quality of life trade-offs. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about that. But we're going to begin in general, like as of today. I think in order to live like a sort of comfortable life, Pete, I'm talking sort of comfortable, not like luxury, but sort of comfortable. I don't think you can do it today for less than like 6 or 7 thousand reais. I think about, pre-COVID, you could maybe do it for 5,000, but things have gone up so much.
It depends. It depends. I mean, this month, I swear to God, I will be lucky to make 2,000 reais this month.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had other months where I make 5 or 6. Like really erratic. Um, but yeah, pre-COVID, I think I could get by on 1,500 because I lived in Republica, right? It all depends on your standards of comfort. I've traded up since then, so I can't do that anymore. I need to make 2,000. So barely making 2,000 this month really hurt.
How much did you make? 2,000.
This month, yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah. That's very little. And how are you doing? How are you surviving? Or barely?
I've basically stopped going out.
Mm-hmm.
I eat as cheap as possible. Because I don't. I mean, even though I don't really particularly like where I live, I don't want to go back to living with other people either.
Yeah.
Well, I want to keep my place, so I'm just trying to spend as little as possible, which is hard because like an average day for me, I spend $50 at least,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't
Yeah.
even commute. Right? You commute for your job. You have to
Yes.
actually take the subway to go to where you work. I work from home, and I still spend $50 a day just
Mm-hmm.
on like lunch, a lot of other things that maybe aren't necessary, like cigarettes, for example, coffee, but cigarettes and coffee are necessary for me. So, but coffee has gone up so much, coffee has doubled in price over the
Man,
last.
coffee is like gold down here. It's
Yes,
about
and this
let's
is
see.
where coffee comes from. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Preço do café, média. Okay, so the average price of coffee. Oh no, no. That's if you okay.
It's about for a pack of instant coffee that lasts you 3 days. It's
Yeah.
about 10 reais.
Yeah, it's between 30 and 45.
Yeah, but I buy the instant coffee pack.
Oh, okay. We're buying the regular old brand, like the Pillow and all this stuff. Guys, don't go by these prices. This is internet prices if you're buying online. But like, there's a popular coffee right here. Three hearts, three corações. Yeah,
Yes.
43 highs. That's crazy. It used to be like 15, 20 a few years back.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get a graphic. Gráfico do aumento do preço do café. Let me see how good Google is. Oh, ooh, look at that.
Yep, that
This is
went
going up,
up
up, up, up,
a lot, man.
up. Yeah, and it's crazy, yeah, because it is uh made here, but it's like
It's grown here.
yeah, grown here. Um, but sometimes it's like stuff that's made in the country is more expensive than stuff that like it's cheaper for people that buy it outside the country than in the country. It's kind of weird that way, but it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. So when you're thinking of cost of living and you're coming to Brazil, you gotta put that kind of in the back of your mind because although it's the dollar is it's okay, it will take you a little bit further. It still doesn't change the fact that some things have gotten a little bit more expensive. So I mean, if something goes up 10 reais, it's gonna be like okay, $2 more.
Yeah,
But if you
beans, man. Like how
yeah,
much
but
did
if you put that on a relative scale, like, okay, so now it's like we're not talking going from 20 reais to 30 reais, but from 200 reais to 300 or 2,000 to 3,000, then, those amounts start adding up. All of a sudden, you're paying $100 more, $200 more. I put here on ChatGPT to live comfortably in a major city like Sao Paulo. Here's a rough monthly estimate for one person, mid-level style. So here for rent one bedroom apartment in a nice area. Okay, I go with this price. We live out in the suburbs, so you can probably find that for like half that price. But if you want to live on Paulista, you want to live near metros, restaurants, blah blah blah. This is
Yeah,
for one bed.
I mean, cost of living in terms of rent is so variable
It is,
because
but oh, go ahead.
Even in Sao Paulo, like the first place I lived in Sao Paulo, I paid 600 reais for, but it was also like just a room in a Republica. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want to, share a place with a bunch of other people in a nice house? It was a nice house. You were there. Um, or do you want your own space? Because the more space you want to yourself, the more you're going to pay.
Yeah,
Um, even in like an outside neighborhood, like if you want a one bedroom apartment, you're not just paying for the apartment. You're paying for security fees. You're paying for electricity. You're paying for water. So it really all depends on the level of autonomy you want. The more autonomy you want, the more you're going to pay for.
I agree. It's just what do you call it? Everybody comes here are living a different type of lifestyle. So, living in a republica is probably not, you know, something everybody can deal with. But see,
Well,
these are some,
especially if you come with a family. If you come
yeah,
with a family, that's
yeah.
out
Now
of
you
the.
see, Salvador is really much cheaper. Some of these, I don't know why they gave me Salvador when I put Sao Paulo up here. But Trovitz, guys, is a site that you can use to find some places to live. But here you start getting into Sao Paulo. This is Diadema, which is not even a great neighborhood. 1,600 reais. Let's see what 1,600 gets you in Diadema, which is not really close to Sao Paulo. I mean, it is. It's sort of close. It's one of those outlier cities we were talking about. Let's see what you're getting for 1,600. So look, 1,600, you're getting very basic. So if you don't mind living, this is similar to like the style of my house. Very, average house in Brazil looks exactly like this, guys. So that's what you're paying for. If you want to, oh, I'm sharing the wrong tab. There you go. Let's just reverse that. See a bit of that. Yeah, that's very similar to the style of my house. And I
Mhm.
pay not that much, but also not that far from that price. Uh, and if you start scrolling down, okay, I don't know, they keep showing me Diadema, which is not in Sao Paulo. Tabuão, which is a city, man, it's a city next to Sao Paulo. It's supposed to be a cheap city, but 1,700, 1,000 in Osasco. So if I go here and let's put the minimum price at 200 reais, let's put the maximum price at, I don't know, Pete, what's a good number? Maybe 2,000 and see
Yeah.
what shows up in our search. Yeah, mostly the same houses. You're not gonna find anything for 200, but yeah, it's mostly that stuff. So this is the going price, because I was thinking of moving from this house, but I'm looking, Pete, and it's impossible to find something that's like less than what I'm paying for, especially for the size of the house that I have. So I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
and you got to go further too. And I mean, you're already pretty far out there.
yeah. By the way, guys, this is a really check these sites out. If a lot of times people ask in the groups, where can I find apartments? Quinto Andar is probably your best site for finding places. So
Yeah,
here,
yeah. Easy Quattros is a good one as well.
but that's Easy Quattro became Quinto Andar. So if you put
Okay,
Quinto Andar, Easy Quattro, but look at this. See all the prices here: 2,000, one
they're
thousand,
high, man.
you know.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
crazy. I mean, I'm paying 1,000 now for like
mhm.
basically a bachelor apartment.
Yeah. Although these are for the, actually this one, like 29 square meters. You're gonna get this little studio apartment here.
But I will say this for it. When I tell my friends back in Canada, like what I pay for a bachelor apartment, they're
Yeah.
jealous because back there it's like $1,000.
Yeah. that's what I'm saying. It is cheaper if you're comparing it like to what you would get in the States. The only thing is this: you got to keep in mind that uh, you know sometimes if you're paying $1,000, even though it's like a bachelor pad, it's like a bachelor pad with like you know m- modern
Rats.
yeah, like modern plumbing and like
Yeah, you,
here.
you get a better bachelor apartment in
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah. Look, I like this. Look at this, Pete. It's giving me all the neighborhoods, and it's telling me, look, the average price 2,400. Villa Mariana, a little bit more expensive. Pinheiros, great neighborhood, but it's a little bit more expensive. Tatuapé,
Yeah,
Moema.
Pinheiros is a gentrified neighborhood for sure.
Yeah, Moema is super expensive. I used to live in Moema. Brooklyn is 4,000. They didn't even have Butantan here, but you can see, you know. So if you're looking, that's a nice place. I mean, the one thing that you got to consider is this: if you're getting a bigger place, like this is a 3-bedroom apartment for 4,200. By the way, you see that they changed the price here is because in Brazil they charge you a condominium price. And the thing is this, like the silver lining, okay, you get a place like this, maybe you're sharing it with somebody, but that looks really tiny. I'm looking at these pictures, man. I don't know if I'd want to share this with this living space with somebody. I'd go nuts. So you're getting a cubicle for like 3,000, but you got to think about that with the average Brazilian. Average Brazilian is not going to be able to afford that. But as you can see here, you got your rent, and then you got your condominium. You got to check these hidden prices, guys. You got your
Yeah,
IPTU, which is
security fees are a huge thing.
yes.
It's like a
Here,
second rent.
yeah, the security. What they do here, if you're trying to rent, is if you don't have something called a fiador is like a cosigner, and good luck finding a cosigner, all right? Especially if you don't know anybody here. Even Brazilians won't cosign for other Brazilians. So you got two choices. Either you're going to go through a place called Porto Seguro, which is this right here, Porto Seguro. And what is Porto Seguro? Porto Seguro is they're like an insurer. So you are going to pay them your security deposit, and then they will guarantee the house for you. The only thing is, you don't get your money back. It's like they help you kind of get the house. There's a seguro, so it deals with also insurance, cellular insurance, life insurance, but they also will help with getting a house. I thought about it, because when I rented this house, I rented it through a real estate agent. And technically, I wasn't supposed to be able to, because the real estate agencies are either going to ask for a fiador, which is that cosigner, or for you to go straight through the Porto Seguro. And that's where I used my magic power that I learned here in Brazil, which is called crying, and crying a lot and showing a lot of. No, it works, man. I showed them like 6 months of like pay stubs. I cried. I said, I'm a foreigner, but not really, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, whatever. And I've been here since 2012 or so. So, guys, crying works. One thing that it can be a pain in the ass in Brazil, but sometimes it works to your favor, is this thing we call the jeitinho brasileiro. We talked about already, like that kind of flexibility. You can use it to your favor. Like, no rule here is set in stone. Uh, um, so yeah, cry a lot. Ain't too proud to beg. So you can go through that, but yeah, because otherwise, man, what you're gonna do, which is what I did, is I paid 2 months deposit. That's usually what they'll ask for. This is actually a nice place, 1,250. But look at that. It's 1,500 after, but it's Villa Brasilândia, which is really far out there, like in Zona Norte. You're really far away, but that's a really cute apartment.
That's
Oh,
crazy, man. I feel so lucky right now.
I would get this place if look at that. That's cute. It's just really far away from everything. But it's a big living space for 1,500, and if you're sharing it with somebody, that's actually
That's a steal.
yeah, that's a real steal. It's just that this area. Look at this area. area. Where is it? Vila Brasilândia. Let's see if they show it on the map. You're like gonna be really far away from like everything. Let me see. They don't have like they don't have a like a Google Map style thing. Let me see if I can find my way around the city. Let me see. Yeah, you are really far. Look, this is Pinheiros. This is like downtown São Paulo, like around here, more or less. And this place is like all the way out there. And when I was zooming out, I think I saw a train station. Oh, there's the nearest train station right there. So that's why it's that price. Because
Yeah.
you're literally like out in the middle of nowhere. So I would not recommend getting a place like that unless you have a car or unless you just really have a life out here that is really nice, because there are some, look at that huge park that they got over here, the Cantareira Park. It's huge. Okay. That's where we get a lot of the water reserves here in Sao Paulo. And we've been having some water issues, guys. So, there's a lot of issues going on in Sao Paulo. So, yeah, that whole Cachoeirinha part right there is out there. So that explains that price. So I would budget if you're thinking about, staying here a little bit longer. One, if you're thinking about staying here a little bit longer, but not like staying in Sao Paulo, Airbnb, guys. And actually, there was a guy in one of the expat groups that was asking for help. Like, he's like, there was this dude that told me that he would help me get an Airbnb for him, but I had to pay him like $700. Can you help me? And I told him, man, I'm not going to help you get robbed. So no, you do not need help getting an Airbnb. You do not need Brazilian ID. You can use your passport. Do not get scammed, guys. So get an Airbnb if you're going to stay here 2-3 months. A lot of times, like I said, people are flexible here. If you cry a little bit, give them a good story. A lot of these Airbnb folks are like, yeah, we'll do a 3-month contract with you. Like, stay here for 3 months. They may even give you a discount. Because renting here, the contracts, you're not going to find the contract for like under a year. Like, good luck. A year, if you're lucky. Usually it's 18 months. So, yeah.
The thing is, though, if you don't have a contract, you can get kicked out on the street in a moment's notice.
Yes. This is true. This is true. So, and also, I mean, this is just from bad experiences that I've had in Brazil. Don't go straight with what they say here, straight with the owner, direto com proprietário, because you will probably get screwed. I got screwed really bad. I have some horror stories with that. But yeah, here they're giving 3 to 4. So I agree with that price. If you're looking for what in the US you would consider like a comfy, modern kind of, shit, like not like my house every once in a while. That's, you got to fix stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
But utilities.
You have to take into account what comes with it, though. Like, are you paying for electricity? Are you paying for internet? Are you paying for water? Because I don't pay for any of those things, right? I pay strictly for rent. So
that helps. Yeah, because I pay electricity, man. The electric bill has gone up by so much. It used to be around like $100. It's coming around 200, 240. But Brazil's having a real energy problem, and they actually said that the thing was going to go up this year due to some like energy issues. It's on the red flag. So the utilities, water, gas, internet, 500 to 800. That's pretty much about as much as I spend. Whoops. Oh, that was weird. Let's try going up. What the heck did I do? That was crazy. All right, there's the thinker. Well, maybe I shouldn't just keep forwarding. What the hell happened? But anyway, yeah, so I pay about that much. Oh, that was crazy. I took a whole journey through Egypt. Okay, I was looking for Egyptian shipwrecked artifacts, and then my whole thing's gone now. Oh, there you go. There you go. So, wrapping this up, public transport, about 250 to 400 reais monthly. That's true.
It
Uh,
goes up every year. I mean, I
mhm.
swear to God, when I first got here, the bus fare and the subway fare both were, I think, 340, and now they're both over $5. Like it just creeps up every year, but every year it goes up.
I know, and I remember it's so weird that nobody says anything anymore. Because I remember, were
There
you
was a
here for those
protest.
protests?
There was a
Yeah,
protest.
because it went up like 10 cents or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Those 2013 protests.
Yeah, and the government's just like, fuck you. We'll
Yes.
give you free buses on Sundays. That's basically what they did.
Yeah, so it was pretty much this, but that was like the what do you call it? Like the straw that broke the camel's back was like when they raised the price of the bus by like 20 cents, and then people just went nuts, and then it became this protest about everything from like healthcare, education.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Look, in 2011, officials had authorized a 10-cent increase for. Oh my God, what is happening here? My other mouse broke, so I'm trying to use my laptop mouse, and we know how great those are. Where was it? Okay, it's after this picture. Where was it? But anyway, yeah, it just went up by like 10 cents, and then people just went nuts. Oh, there you go. From 290 to 3 highs, a 3.4% rise. But there had been no such increase in 2012. And now, as 2013 approached, bus companies are asking city governments, which control the fares, for a hike of another 20 cents, an increase of 6.7%. This time around, the local officials, acting in concert with President Rousseff's government in Brasilia, were considering rejecting the request. In the end, he's going
Yeah.
to go in
I
depth here.
mean, they could totally reduce the cost of public transportation in Brazil just by getting rid of those fucking bus sleepers. You know, the guys who
Oh, the guy that takes your change. Yeah, they were
yes,
talking about doing
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
definitely were talking about that, but then the change guys were pissed. I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
change.
Well, of course, it's your job, you know,
Yeah,
like
but still, I
fuck, you
mean,
got a job, man.
they do nothing. They like because now everything's on those little bus passes. Like, who has money anymore? Out of like 30 people or 30 people, I wish, like on the weekend, like the 100 people that they shove on a bus, what, like maybe 10 of them are paying with money?
Yeah, yeah. And these guys, like, they do nothing, man. They just sleep. I had a student that this is where I got the name from. He's like, yeah, the bus sleepers. You know, because they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Everyone just scans their card and walks on. Like, man, if you got rid of those guys, public transportation would be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But then
Uh,
they'd have no jobs. So
I know. It's funny how they keep people working here who are not working. And I think what upset people is that, okay, it's one thing if you raise the prices of the buses, but at least like give us more buses, give us better service. I mean, we've had a few newer buses in the fleet, but not really. And then, I mean, and the people that suffer the most are people that live out where we are. Like, I take some buses
yeah,
home sometimes that it's like I've been very intimate with like a lot of people, more
yeah,
intimate than I've wanted to be in my life, because it's like a sardine can. So I
yeah,
totally get it. But I think unfortunately Brazil, it kind of it wears people down because it feels like you're so close to like actually having some real change, some real like, even, I mean, if you go back into the history, even like when people were coming at it like the military junta like in the 1980s, and everybody was fighting for democracy and they got democracy back, and then you didn't, you just got the same people, they just changed the names of things and then like
yeah,
it's like the elite versus the working class, and every once in a while they'll throw you a couple crumbs. They'll give you a free bus on Sunday, but they
yeah,
raise the rent for the metro. Like, that's how they compensate for the free buses. Like, it was immediate. Like the bus was free on Sunday, and then the next day, the metro fare went from $4.20 to $5. So it's like, thank you for nothing, you know. So it's like it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. So I only use public transportation on Sundays unless I have to.
Yeah, yeah. No, people are. I think people just get fed up, and they're just like people. Like there's a word in Portuguese, acomodado. It's like people just kind of like used to it. They've grown used to it, but I think it's beyond that. I think people are just jaded. They're like, whatever. And actually, another topic Pete and I were considering talking about tonight was just that feeling of jaded. Like, going out lately. It's like I don't know. It's like a kind of a dead energy. It's not as vibrant as it used to be. But we'll talk about that maybe in a couple of weeks. Just possible reasons for that. What kind of sparked it is one is just my actual feeling, but two, I saw a TikTok video where an older guy was talking about that. He's like, he was filming Who Augusta at like 2 a.m. and it was like empty, like on a Friday or Saturday night.
Really?
And it's like, what's going on with São Paulo's nightlife? But we'll talk about that another day. But look, guys. So if you're coming here, yes, rent will be significantly cheaper. Okay. So yeah, it's about that price, 400 to 7. If you're thinking in dollars, 700 plus utilities. And if you go in New York, San Francisco, 1 bedroom, good luck. All right. Utilities are often higher, especially internet in the U.S. 70 to 80 versus Brazil. Western Europe, here they're giving us similar. So Americans are usually shocked by savings on rent. Europeans from cheaper countries see less of a gap. But I think if the average American, that's not coming out of New York, I think the prices are kind of, relatively good. Groceries and eating out. The one thing about Brazil is that if you buy groceries, it's gonna be cheaper to eat in Brazil if you're thinking in dollars. Okay, if you're thinking in reais, not so much. But you get a lot of fresh produce. I did have the video up on the channel of the feira, worth going. The only thing is, if you really want your imported goods, forget about it. They are expensive. Cheese, wine, electronics, olive oil. Olive oil, dude. That, speaking of like gold, that
Like
shit gold. It's like
$30
or more for like a little bottle,
Yeah. For 3 hours.
little bottle. And you're like, what the heck? Eating at casual restaurants, that's what most Brazilians do. They eat at the per kilo, 5 to 10 reais a meal. Yeah, 5 times 5, 35. That's about what I pay sometimes for lunch, about 26 to 30 reais.
Yeah, but that's a lot to pay for
It
lunch.
is. It is. It used to be like I could eat almost a kilo and get a drink for like $20. But now it's like close to 30. So that's going up a lot. Grocery prices can be higher for fresh fruit and vegetables, depending on the state in the US. But imported goods are cheaper than in Brazil. Europe, again, has groceries and wine cheaper than Brazil. Of course, with the wine there, yeah. Groceries slightly more than Brazil, but the angle. Europeans often complain less about food prices. Americans are thrilled at restaurant affordability in Brazil. Yeah, and I do notice that a lot of my American friends are like, "Woohoo! I can have lunch for like $10, and it's like a really good lunch." So food here, if you're coming from abroad, is going to be cheaper than in the U.S. Transportation, we were just talking about public transport, metro bus, $1 to $2 per ride. Not too bad. Ride apps, again, super affordable. Okay. Cars are expensive to buy, guys. If you're going to buy a car here, you're going to be paying the exchange rate plus all the import taxes. Also, be careful maintaining fuel, things like that. Even to rent a car here, it's a bit expensive. So just be aware of that. Public transports in New York subway is $2.90 per ride. Okay, in LA, almost non-existent. Ride apps are way more expensive in the US apparently, but car ownership is cheaper than Brazil. So just be aware of that. The only thing is, Brazilian public transport is hang on to your hats, whatever, like. it can be interesting.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Sao Paulo is actually not too bad if you stick around the central areas. Once you start going out into the burbs, man, you get those bus drivers that I think they think they're like driving a moped and they're like weaving in and out of traffic. It's like what do you call it? Like a roller coaster ride, especially if you sit in the back. It's like you're back in elementary school, when you went to the school trips and you sat in the back of the bus just to like uh, bounce up and down. It's a lot of that. Rio de Janeiro, don't even like. If you ever go to Rio and you got a heart, if you got a real strong heart, take one of those vans in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, they're nice actually.
I didn't mind it, but it was kind of crazy. Avenida Brasil.
That's how you get around in Thailand, actually. Thailand minivans all the way.
Yeah, these minivans here are insane. Oh, look at that. Van Capota. So this van was turned over and it stopped in its Avenida Brasil. Avenida Brasil is one of the big streets there. Look, a bunch of vans all destroyed. But yeah, these vans are complex. And I imagine in Thailand, I don't know how they drive over there, but they probably drive wild too.
Yeah, well, they also actually use a lot of illegal fuel, which is a problem because it causes the vans to explode on impact with other vehicles.
Oh, exploding vans. That's always nice. We had a few exploding metros last week, and I've seen a year ago we had I was walking to school and there was like a carcass of a ônibus explode. Let me see if I São Paulo. Well, I don't see any pictures here of the exploding buses in São Paulo, but ônibus São Paulo, ônibus explode. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. These, but I was walking to school and there was one just like this. It's just that it was one of those mini buses, but it was like exactly like this. It just so I asked, like what happened? They're like, oh, it just exploded. I was like, okay, not the answer I was expecting, but they just said it so matter of fact. It's just like, yeah, the bus just caught on fire.
Yeah, no, these things happen.
These things happen. Yeah. Oh, it was more like one of these mini buses. Now, some of them burned down because of protest, especially in the favelas. If the police go down and raid the favela and they kill somebody, sometimes it's a protest. I'm trying to see if this is. Oh, I think this. Oh, there you go. That's the bus that turned that burnt on my way to school. Microbus. Yeah, microbus burns in Belém. I work in this neighborhood. This is January 2024. Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? How does that even happen? Oh, there it is. Let's see if somebody caught it.
Quem vem pela rádio, ó, tá parado, ônibus pegando fogo aqui, ó. Bem no finalzinho da região do Belém, aqui atrás da rua.
Yeah, so stuff like this happens, and you just kind of you get used to it after a while.
You do.
Part of living in Brazil, like shit catches fire.
Yeah,
and
I was living in Thailand when there was like a revolution against the government, and there were car bombs going off at bus stops every day, and it's like, yeah, well, that's another car bomb. You just get used to it.
Dude, it's funny that, because sometimes you think about like these war-torn regions, whether it's Israel, Palestine, whatever, Syria, and it's like, how do people live there? But I think they're just like, okay, that's just part of the reality. Like,
you just kind of accept it.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's the same here. Like, people from outside would be shocked, but you're like, yeah, like, it just happens. People throw themselves in front of the trains all the time. Healthcare. Now, we did have Rebecca on talking a lot about healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Public healthcare is free but inconsistent. That's
the great thing about healthcare is that it can be free, and sometimes the free healthcare is better than the paid health care.
This is true.
But, you're better off having health insurance.
Definitely are, and I had the fortune of what do you call it, dealing with both, because where I work, I get, that's part of my benefits. I get public transport, although more Brazilianisms, because it is a benefit, but it's not, because it's coming out of your salary. But
Yeah.
you get a little bit of a discount on it. But I get about like $600 a month, $500 a month for transport, and which I'm feeling it now because of my whole losing my bus card fiasco. I had to put almost $400 on a monthly card that a friend of mine let me borrow. So I can't wait till I get out of that, because I feel that money gone. Um, in the healthcare, we go through a company called Amil. And a few years ago, guys, I had this real bad stomach issue, like this really bad ulcer. And I'm so glad I had that Amil, because actually, no, I'm sorry. It was a different company. It was a kind of a shittier company. And then we went back to Amil. But even the shittier company was okay. It just took me around the city a little bit more than Amil. Amil has more of their health stations around São Paulo. So I recommend AMIL. That's what the name of the insurer. The other one, I forgot the name. It kind of sucked. But in any case, man, I got I forgot the technical names now, Pete. When they throw the endoscopy, is that it? When they go down your throat. I had one that was when they shove a tube up your ass. I had like every medical procedure done. I thought I was like dying of like some stomach cancer. Ended up it was a really bad ulcer from eating too much hot sauce down here. So be careful. And
That can possibly happen.
yeah, man, watch eating down here. That's all I'm saying, because they put a lot of spices in food, even though it's not hot spices. But depending on the food you eat, it can be full of like these strong Brazilian spices. They use a lot of salt down here, and where I get my hot sauce is actually hot. So and then I go crazy because it's so hard to find really hot sauce here, and I do a little bit too much, and it really screws up. That was horrible, dude. It was like a month of really bad pain. Anyway, public health care is free but inconsistent. That's putting it lightly. Private insurance is affordable, compared to the U.S. $500 to $200 a month for individuals. Out of pockets are around $25 to $50. There's a place down here that is worth it if you are looking for a quick medical checkup. It's called Doctor Consulta, and what they are is there it is, Doctor Consulta. They kind of set you up with doctors, and they give you, and it's for a lower price. So you go through here, you find what it is that you want. And look, they even have like surgeries, checkups, and everything, exams, and it'll be at like a half the price. It's kind of like a cool setup that they have. A friend of mine, even like she goes to her. Look, they have gynecologists. Look, 100 starting at 142 reais to go see a gynecologist.
Yeah.
You
can go to a hospital for free.
Yes.
The problem with going to a hospital for free is you're going to wait hours
Yes.
for service. But I've always done that. That's like all my experience with Brazilian medical treatment is. Yeah, I live near USP. I go to the USP hospital. They've done me solid 100 times. You require a bare minimum of identification because I don't have any photo ID. I only have my birth certificate. They accept that, and yeah, you'll get service. So if you have nothing else, yeah, the free hospitals not great if it's an emergency, but if it's something you can wait a bit for, yeah, the free hospitals are actually better.
I agree. Um, Look at this, guys. Just before I'll show you one free hospital that I really like. But here, if you want to get blood tests, these are some of the blood tests here. Iron, vitamin B12. They have everything. But look, the prices are really good. $58. $50. So this is kind of like an intermediary. If you can't afford, going to like a top hospital, but you don't want to wait in line forever, like Pete said at the public hospital, then you can do Doutor Consulta. Hospital São Paulo, been here a bunch of times. And that's a public hospital in Vila Mariana. And again, yeah, like Pete said, you can just walk in and they will treat you, and you're not going to be hit with some weird bill afterwards. Yeah, I went here when I used to live in Moema. I used to go here a lot. And the wait wasn't that long. The trick is getting sick at the right time. Try to get sick in the afternoon when everybody's at work. And usually you don't have to wait that long. The Hospital das Clínicas is one of the best hospitals in Latin America. It's
Yes,
free.
this is one of the famous ones.
Yes, Hospital das Clínicas. It's a public hospital. Okay, it's the only public hospital in Brazil that's ranking as the world's best hospital 2024.
But
So
it is crowded, though.
No, único hospital público. It's a public hospital. Hospital das Clínicas. Yeah, you can go in there and get consultations for free. Okay. Let me see. What are the three best hospitals in Brazil? Hospital das Clínicas in Campinas. Hospital das Clínicas from USP. Okay. And Hospital da Clínica, the other one. So these are really, really good hospitals. And like Pete said, there is the USP hospital. Okay. Which is inside of USP. Okay.
It's a pretty good hospital, but it's slow. It's free,
Yeah.
but it's slow.
Here close to me, there's yeah. So if you put Hospital Público São Paulo, you're gonna get a whole list of these, of the ones. And again, if you go to like, Hospital das Clínicas or stuff like that, good luck. You're gonna be hanging around for a long time. So
Yeah.
it would be better if you went to a smaller hospital. And I like these. They have these specialized hospitals here. There's the hospital for women, and then there's the hospital for men's health, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, although men's health isn't.
And we have the clinicas here too as well, which can save you some effort because I think maybe 3 blocks from me there's a clinica where you can go and you can get yourself checked out, and it's free, completely free. And they will ask you basic questions, and you can find out, do I need to go to a hospital? Like when I had that fucking bad leg infection.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I went there and they're like, dude, you need a hospital. But, they were so cool about it. They're like, we'll pay for a taxi to take you to the USP hospital. Like, we're not equipped to deal with this. But yeah, that leg is fucked.
I remember that leg. Speaking of thinking somebody's going to die, I thought that was the end of Pete.
Yeah.
That was a nasty, nasty leg thing here. By the way, guys, hello to everybody checking in. Hey, Craig, thanks for checking in. He says, good show, guys. Great information. Yeah, we're kind of, going over a few things here. It's, the main topic is cost of living in Brazil. At the beginning of the show, if you want to check it out, a little bit of weird music that I made with some scenes here in Sao Paulo, plus videos of the storms that were really crazy here. We were talking about that a little bit last week, if there's like tropical weather and stuff like that, natural disasters. And the other thing was people getting, dying from drinking methanol and the alcohol. But now we're getting into real cost of living stuff and kind of some details. Craig does say, good point with healthcare. Out here in the burbs, UBS, by the way, UBS, it's what Pete was talking about, guys, which I have on the screen here. They call it pronto socorro. Pronto means like right now. So it's like immediate help. Socorro means help. So pronto socorro, help right now. And it's these smaller little postos, they call it little health posts.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. And
Small
it's right
clinic.
there. Yeah, there you go. Pronto socorro. Now, some of them, it's like there's the pronto socorro, and then there's the UBS, Unidade Básica de Saúde, and they're slightly different. UBS is gonna, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. I don't want to say anything wrong, but I think one is going to be more like a clinic, and I think the pronto socorro is going to be more like an emergency room, like a small. UBS e pronto socorro. Qual é a diferença? Let's see what is the difference between one and the other. So the UBS is going to give me some help. Okay, so it's preventive help. So it's focused on routine consultations, vaccines, exams, and
they dish out vaccines. They dish out medicine. You can get penicillin there, which is really good.
Cool.
You can get really good consultation, but if you want serious medical treatment, you got to go to a hospital.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You can kind of skip the hospital and go to the pronto socorro, and it'll be a little bit faster. So the pronto socorro is these mini. Okay, these are for emergency cases like accidents, traumas, intense dores, intense pain.
They're not equipped to deal with traumas.
Man, I've seen some people in these UBS. There's one down the street, like people coming in with accidents, motorcycle. Like I saw a guy's leg almost half off while I was waiting. So yeah, no, trust me, they have triages there for like emergencies. It's not like because sometimes the hospital's far, especially if the people are out in the suburbs. So it's the immediate place that they're gonna go. Like it's the closest place. I went there. Oh, a couple times because of like really strong stomach pains, and they, I waited around, and then they gave me some antibiotics and stuff. But yeah, guys, pronto socorro. If you don't have a hospital near you, and it's usually you see a lot more of these pronto socorros in the suburbs. Okay?
They're not open 24 hours a day though. That's the problem.
They are, Pete. They are. Trust me.
No, they are, man. The one in my neighborhood, it wasn't open on the holiday.
I know, but I think you're confusing the UBS with the Pronto Socorro. They're two different entities. Pronto Socorro, it's guaranteed. Like they need to be open 24/7. They are open. Okay. Now the UBS, no, because that's preventive care. So that's where you're getting your vaccines, your stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Pronto Socorro, it's like immediate help. Like that's the name of the place. So it's got to be open 24/7. The one down the street from my house is like having reform right now. So it's not open at all. But when it was up, like I've gone there like 1 o'clock in the morning, like, when I was having some issues. So no, yeah. Pronto Socorro, look right there. It works 24 hours a day. Okay. 7 days a week. So that's your other option if you don't have a hospital nearby, and usually because it's smaller, you're gonna sometimes, well, it depends, like it said, depends, you might get seen closer. But back to what Craig said, he says out here in the burbs, UBS is great. I use them for routine stuff. We had our second kid at the public hospital here. Wifey was in the same room as a family who had insurance. Yeah. And Rebecca said that, like sometimes it's the same nurses that treat you in the public hospitals, treat you in the private hospitals. You're not going to see this drop in quality. What's going to happen is like a drop in how fast you'll be seen. Would the free healthcare apply to someone on a tourist visa, though? Good question.
No, it does. It does.
I believe it does. They don't have the right to turn you away. Like if you are in need of immediate. Now, if you need to do
I don't have any legal Brazilian identification, and all of my Brazilian healthcare has been taken care of solely by my birth certificate. Actually, not even my passport, just my birth certificate. So yeah.
Oops, sorry, I did a print screen there by mistake instead of an F11. And look at this, Camino. It says yes, the SUS, which is the universal healthcare here, does attend to tourists, including in the UBS and the Pronto Socorro. Okay, because the rule of SUS is to man, I keep forgetting the word for atender. What is that? To see, to check. And, anybody who needs help inside of Brazilian territory, so they cannot turn you away, independent of your origin or if you're a migrant. And the best part about it, you're not gonna get a bill. You're not gonna get a
Mhm.
bill. Yes, I had sinusitis out here. Went to the local hospital, paid nothing. And El Camino says, "Nice, yeah, guys. I mean, some countries could learn a little bit about Brazil when it comes to the public health service. Not perfect, as most free things aren't, but it's been a lifesaver. But there's another but there. If it's like an emergency, like okay, like those intermediate emergencies, like you feel like your stomach's gonna come out of your ass, or like I had an ear infection one year where it's not like I'm bleeding, so they're not gonna like take care of me like right now, but it's not something I can wait 6 months to take care of. Pay out of pocket, like I went to a ear doctor, she did her thing, boom, boom, boom. I paid $100, I was in and out. Because when I went to the public hospital, they saw me, but they're like, "Yeah, you're on a waiting list of like 3 months." And I was like, "Man, like my jaw was bleeding. The pain was so bad with that ear infection." So I do recommend that when you get that intermediate shit that it's like it's nagging, and you're like, "I can't wait to be seen. I can't wait to be put on a list." Either that or like I don't know, cut yourself and then say to the doctor, "By the way, I got a stomach pain." As
Yeah,
long
and I mean that's kind of where I fall in the middle of public healthcare because I mean
yes.
I'm Canadian where we have like free healthcare. It's awesome. Um, right wing Americans will tell you that um, in Canada, like it takes forever to see a doctor. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Mhm.
It takes forever to see a doctor if it's not life threatening. But
Yes.
yeah, but if it is life threatening, you can see a doctor immediately.
Immediately. Yeah. The only issue is that, the non life threatening stuff can be life crippling because it's
Yeah,
just,
it can be annoying. Well,
yeah.
at the very least, or painful. So
Yeah.
where Brazil kind of bridges the gap is that it's like, okay, if it's life threatening, pay for it, or
Yeah.
you don't have to pay for it. If it isn't life threatening, then you should probably pay for it.
Or have an insurance plan or something.
Exactly.
Let's see. Americans, let's say Americans see Brazil's private system as a bargain. Europeans often compare negatively to their home country's universal coverage. Yeah, I believe Europeans kind of complain a little bit. I think they think the NHS is a little better in other, I don't know what other public services are around the world. I think NHS is England, I believe, right? The National Health Service. Leisure and lifestyle. Cinema, man, it's gotten more expensive to go to the movies. It's about $40. But if you compare it to what your people are paying in the US, and the theaters are nice as hell, it's
I would
well,
say the movies are cheaper here.
they are. It's just if you're earning in reais, it's like good luck. Because
No, but they're not because like all the staff of cinemas here are teenagers, just like they are in America and Canada, and they just give you half price.
well,
Like
yeah, there's that. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to buy a Coke and a popcorn, forget about it. So bring your own food.
how even that, man, even that.
Ah, dude.
I find I spend less than 50 reais at the movies
All
most
right, for
times.
one person, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But don't go on.
Okay, if you're taking a date, it's ridiculous. But
I'm trying to think like families. Like, imagine dad's got to pay for the, maybe the mom will help, but if he's old school, he's gonna try to pay for the whole family to go to the movies. You're spending at least $200 on a
Yeah,
night.
that's crazy.
But
I rarely spend more than $40 at the movies.
yeah, but you're a cheapskate like me.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Although, guys, the half off, it's like, they have a few credit cards that will give you half off. You can get half off if you have a teacher's ID. And like Pete said, sometimes the kids will just give you half off, but not all the time. Sometimes.
No, but now you can do it by machine. All the Cinemarks, they actually have an option where you can just like say, okay, am I paying full price or am I paying half price?
I know, but Pete,
I'm like,
look
what
at
am I
this.
retarded?
But look at this. You gotta put it into perspective. I'm gonna put you in the spotlight, much like Watif. We always say with Watif, like he was a huge dude who's messing with him. Dude, you barely speak Portuguese. You're like coming in all like, the kids are just like, I don't know what, like, go in. If you can speak a sentence in Portuguese like I can, and I say, eu paguei metade, they're like, okay, show me ID. Like, like you, they're just like, man, like, my friend Tim used to deal with that. Like, he used to get half off all the time. And he's this English dude, barely speaks any Portuguese, and he's a little snappy with people. So I think the kids were like scared of him. They're like, just let him in, let him in. Because technically he couldn't get the half off because he works in the private school, and the half off is only for public school teachers, which I learned because I tried to get half off, and then they're like asking me all these questions. I'm like, oh my God. Every once in a while you get lucky, but I think it has a little bit to do with that, man. Like,
no, but dude, nowadays they have these machines that allow
I know,
you.
but even in the machine, dude, like when it comes out, because the option for the machine for half off, it's considering that either you're a student or you got like the Bradesco card, or like there's like, it's not just half off and then it's like a free for all. It's like a half off, but it's written there.
But nobody questions it.
This is based on either the only people getting half off in Brazil are students, teachers that work in the public sector. Maybe if you're a senior citizen, but
well,
like
as a senior citizen,
maybe that's it. Maybe that's why you're getting lucky, and either that with the combination of they probably like Bon Dia, and you're like, and they're like, you know what, go watch a movie. We'll be okay.
Yeah,
I would do that. I'm like, some guy talking to me, I couldn't understand him. I'd be like, you know what? I don't get paid enough. Go watch your movie. I won't tell. But, the gym, about 20 to 50. Nightlife, that's about right. $5 to $10 you're going to be paying, which is about 20, 30 reais for like a caipirinha. Beers about 17 reais, whatever.
The thing about Brazilian nightlife though is the cards.
Oh yeah, don't lose your damn card, or you're gonna pay like $200 for the night.
Yeah, because you have two choices. One, it's open bar. This is the best.
Yes,
a open bar, everything is okay. The other option, though, is that you have to pay for a card that is going to record everything that you buy, and you don't know how much you're spending, and then you have to pay at the end of the night. And like Phil said, if you lose that card, you are fucked.
Yeah, look, it says it right there. Look, em caso de extravios ou danos na ficha, será cobrado uma multa de R$100. So if you fuck up this little thing or you lose it, you're gonna be charged $100. That's cheap. Some places I've been to some clubs.
Yeah, it's like 200 most places.
200, yeah. Sometimes it's like this, guys. It's just like a paper one. Those are the worst because they're really like. You got to really be careful with that. Like I've had anxiety in clubs of like, oh my God, where's my commander? Where's my commander? And, some of the more modern ones, these you'll find even if you go into padarias and stuff like that. Like some padarias, they'll have like a little turnstile for you to go in.
Yes.
So this little thing comes out. You buy everything. The guy's he's gonna ask you, oh, what's your commander? What's your commander? You know, and you gotta show him this. He'll put it in a little computer, and then you go to the cash register. You give the lady this commander. Once you register your payment, then you'll be allowed to leave the establishment through the turnstile.
Yeah.
Uh,
And if
Catraque
you don't take
Padaria.
that, you're in a fucking world of trouble.
There you go, guys. This is what I'm talking about. So a lot of places to enter, you got to go through that. And again, this is normal here because of so many thefts and stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's because of employee theft, actually.
What happened? Oh,
Employee
employee
theft.
theft. Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be. Yeah. So most places are set up like this. You know, supermarkets. Supermarkets. I don't know. I've never seen it in a supermarket. That's kind of weird. But in a padaria, which are like the places where you buy some food, some sandwiches, have something to
Padarías
eat.
are bakeries, basically, but
Yeah, but I don't like
they're
to say
also
bakery
convenient.
because it doesn't just sell cakes. It's like you can have a full course meal in there. So
Yeah,
padaria is a very
they're
Brazilian.
restaurants, they're convenience stores.
Yeah, like a padaria is a very Brazilian
Yeah.
entity. Like we don't have anything similar in the U.S. It's like a mix of a deli with actual bakery with bread and cake, plus a restaurant. So it's like a
Yeah,
diner
but
slash.
it's where you can buy smokes too.
Yes, yeah. So it's an all convenience place. It's the mega. It's the Brazilian style. Brazilians love to like get a little bit of everything and mix it all together. Let's finish up, Pete, because I said I wanted to be on for an hour, and it's an hour and a half because we're
All
both
right.
tired. All right, so leisure. Okay. Let's see. I think I got one more category here. Hidden costs. Okay, yeah. Your hidden costs, guys, are all the electronics. We talked about that last week. Anything that you're importing, bureaucratic costs, which are banking fees, legal paperwork, cartórios. Anytime you want to do anything legally here, you gotta, you know, spend a bunch of money on like getting stuff stamped at the cartório, which is the notary. Inflation swings, which will give you that rapid price changes in food, rent, transport. It's like one day to the next. You're like, where am I? And some expats, I guess, that have a lot of money invest in private security. But okay, uh, if you're down for that, I don't think you'll be listening to this show and worrying about cost of living in Brazil because you've got money. Quality of life trade-offs. So here it says Americans. By the way, I got some of this from our friend ChatGPT. Major savings on rent, healthcare, transport, and eating out, but the big frustration is cost of electronics and bureaucracy. Yes, we talked about this last week. For Europeans, it seems like it's a mixed bag. Depends if they're from Northern and Western or Southern and Eastern Europe. The Northern and Western Europe see Brazil is cheaper. Southern and Eastern Europe see fewer savings. Healthcare feels like a downgrade. Better climate, social life, and food. Okay, whatever. Must adapt to unpredictability. Guys, this should be like the title of this article. Must adapt to, that's Brazil. These sites here are great, guys. Numbeo, Expatison. I like Numbeo. Like that's one of my favorite sites to go to look for a real breakdown of like how much it costs to live in Brazil. Let me put this here. We can end on Numbeo because it's a cool site. And basically, okay, you're gonna put here, select location. We're in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Okay, and it gives you, up to date right here. So that's four, family of four. How much you're spending? Okay, single person, monthly costs for a single person about 3,004, which is pretty much what I pay per. I think I spend less than that. I spend maybe 2,000 a month. I'm talking about just like excluding my rent, just like food, electric, like the stuff that I need to pay, like my internet, and then all the extra will probably bring me to another 500 or so on top of that. Sao Paulo is 63% less expensive than New York, okay, and 83.8% lower than New York. New York is insane. But I like.
Okay, where in New York though?
Well, most Manhattan, I'm sure they're thinking. Although Brooklyn, I hear, is really expensive now. But some of that stuff is insane. in here, look, they give a breakdown of everything from milk to a loaf of bread, you know, transportation, one-way ticket, utilities. And I like that the site will let you compare. Let me see. There's where is it? Compare Sao Paulo to another city. So I don't know. Where are you from in Canada? I forget. Victoria, right?
Victoria, yeah.
Well, not Victoria, Brazil. Victoria, Canada. Oh, Victoria. Yeah, I'm doing the Brazilian style. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's see. Cost is 44% lower than Victoria. Everything's lower, and then you can actually.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I came to Brazil because I
Mhm.
went back there after living in Asia for 6 years. And I was like, oh my God, like everything's so expensive. Like nothing is satisfying. I was like, I'm just going to get the fuck out of here.
But
Um,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. I was just like, I, I'm getting out of here, man. I want to get to a place where things are more affordable. And they were, but they weren't at the same time because you're earning the same money as the local people.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, dude. Is that it is cheaper, but there's a caveat, which is the real doesn't stretch as far as the dollar, for example. Like you can get
Hmm.
a whole lot more shit with $1 in your hand than you can get with one real in your hand. So although it's cheaper, it's not really. So like I said, we're looking at this tonight just from the perspective of are you coming on here with dollars and blah blah blah. Now, if you want to integrate into the country and eventually start earning reais, a lot of people start teaching English down here. Some people actually start working in companies down here. So you will be earning in reais, like myself, for example. Then it's a whole other conversation that we would be having this evening. But if you're coming with the greenback, in the
Hmm.
euros or wherever, yes, it's gonna be cheaper. It just is. You're gonna I don't think you're not gonna live like a king. Although it depends. Like in Salvador, yeah, some place in the
Yeah, it
northeast.
depends on which city you're living in. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I will tell you, I was watching this Brazilian movie. I actually can't even remember the name right now, but it's set in I believe it's set in Fortaleza during the early 90s. And this kid, it's my uncle just killed a guy.
Oh,
Um, and this guy, he is earning, I think, 350 reais a month, and he's living on that in early 1991.
yeah.
He's splitting the rent with his mother. He's also making the payments on the television set, and that leaves him 50 bucks to get through life with. And I wouldn't say he's doing okay with it. He's not. The dude's poor. But at least he has like 50 bucks to get through the month with.
Hmm.
And like I said, this is set in the early 90s, so it's a different time, but still, like, holy shit, man, getting through the whole month on 50 reais. I spend 50 reais a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, look at this. This is from comparing Salvador, Bahia with São Paulo. Look at the price of rent in the city center: 1,700, 3,600. Outside the city center, 1,300 to 2,200. Three-bedroom apartments, 3,000. You could never find a three-bedroom apartment for this cheap in Brazil. In São Paulo, I mean, 6,000 in São Paulo. Buying apartments. So definitely cheaper. I had to actually be careful when I was in Salvador because I kept saying, "Oh my God, it's so cheap here, it's so cheap here," and I kept getting these weird looks, and I didn't want people to think I was like falling. But it just was. It was like, man, like there was there were like these hotels, Pete. like beachfront, like literally, like you step outside, you have this little boardwalk, and the beach is right there. 100 a night, 120 a night, like impossible prices. Like if you were in like in a heavily tourist area, which is Baja, and I was like, damn, you know, if I had known it was this cheap. Uh, but I did notice one thing that is more expensive in Salvador. Look, electricity, heating, cooling, because the infrastructure there is not that good. I imagine. I'm just kind of imagining that's why. So it's funny how that little part is a little bit more expensive if you're paying for internet and stuff like that. I'm sorry, water, garbage, and all that stuff. So depends where you go. You know, it really depends where you go. Let's just do one last one before we get out of here. Our favorite city in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. And it's probably going to be about the same. Oh, no, I got to sign up to continue. Oh, no, there we go. It's probably about the same. Let me see. São Paulo is a little bit more expensive. They say it's about 10% higher. Yeah, yeah. Although local purchasing power in São Paulo is also higher. So, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know. In Sao Paulo, like you have like so many suburbs that
Yeah.
you can live really cheaply in.
Yeah, yeah. You just got to plan a little bit better if you're going to live outside the city center. But yeah, Rio de Janeiro, man, look at that. Electricity, water, everything's real expensive there. Could also be because there's more people here. I don't know why that's so different. And then I saw another thing that's different, and people are complaining about it today in one of the expat groups I'm in, is the price of public transport. One-way ticket, $7.
Oh my God! Public
Or metro that
transportation
doesn't
is
even
really
run.
hey.
Yeah. And gas is really expensive at the time for a Brazilian, you know. New car, about 110 reais, 110,000 reais. Yeah, it's crazy. So, guys, really cool site, Numio. So check that out. Numbio, sorry. And that is it. I want to thank everybody that hung out with us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, El Camelo and Craig and Travelmatic. And we didn't get Life Is on tonight. She's usually on. I'm imagining Life Is as a woman. Could be a dude. I don't know. And we're gonna go off. Hopefully next week we will have a guest, but we, got a few topics I want to talk about in the next few weeks, especially when it comes to just social life in Brazil. I feel like it's weird. We'll talk about it. And Pete goes out a lot, so he should have some good insight on that. And that's it. Thank you guys.
These days.
Yeah, welcome. Not welcome, but thank you for listening to the Brazil Expat Channel. Please like and subscribe to this channel. If any of this information is good, it's helpful, share this video, share this channel with your friends who want to move abroad. And we're getting a big influx of people coming to Brazil due to all the shitstorm that's going on in America and Europe, World War III, maybe not, maybe yes, political assassinations, etc., etc. So Brazil's becoming like a spot for people to go. And I do want to have a show on that, Pete, because Watif used to talk a lot about that, about, survival packages and all this stuff. And Brazil is actually a hot spot for people that want to escape nuclear winter. It's one of the few spots on Earth that won't be as affected. That in Iceland for some reason. So yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about in the coming months, guys. Thank you, and we're off.